All right, so let's get the show on the road here. This is our live stream. Thank you for joining us. Let's get going. We're going to be talking about, so here's what we're going to be up to today. We're going to start off with kind of the basics. What is Crogl? That's what this stream is here for. It is to give you an introduction to Crogl, what we do, and what we can do for your SOC. So I'll be talking there. I will be, yapping at you there. And then we're going to turn the reins over to Zeke, who's going to give us a demo of Crogl. And then we're going to wrap things up with a Q&A. So, and that's when you all can type in your questions on either LinkedIn or YouTube, and we should be able to see them and answer them. So away we go. All right, so what exactly is Crogl? Crogl it's software. So I know that sounds crazy, but Crogl is not a SaaS. It's software designed for a new era in threats. So we're seeing the number of alerts keep growing. Every year there are more and more alerts pouring into your SOC, and there's either less people, God forbid, or the same amount of people responding to them. And so that's one factor. The other big factor is AI is driving down the costs of being a threat. The script kiddies now have Claude or OpenAI or one of those open source models on their side, so they can have that kind of vast hacking intelligence at their fingertips as an aid to them for next to nothing. You can run some of those models. If you have a beefy laptop, you can absolutely run some of those open source models on it. So it's not just state actors now that have AI on their side. It's almost anyone can have AI on their side. And it's just, there's less, and SOCs are understaffed. They've been understaffed since SOCs have been invented. We don't see that changing anytime soon. So this is the landscape that Crogl was built for, was this era of new threats, increased alerts, and stagnant headcount. So what Crogl is designed to be an AI SOC agent. And like I said before, it's on-prem software. It is air-gapped if you need it software. So it is not a SaaS. You can run Crogl completely unconnected to the internet. You can run it in your cloud, on your on-prem, wherever you like. But again, it'll work even in air-gapped environments. The other thing, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, is any data, any schema. So Crogl works with your data where it is. All of your security data is going to stay in the data lake wherever it is. If it's in your SIM, if it's in Databricks, wherever it's located, Crogl will work with that data. You do not need to dump all of your data into yet another security data lake and normalize it for some specifically trained LLM. Crogl handles all of that for you. And I'm going to explain a little bit more how we do that in an upcoming slide. But because of that capability, Crogl becomes LLM agnostic. And what do I mean by that is, that means because Crogl has all of that schema mapping within itself, it doesn't have to have a specially trained LLM. The schema mapping stays within Crogl, so you can switch out the LLM as needed. So that is how we're able to run on-prem air-gapped. You could have your own in-house LLM, and we're seeing this more and more places, not just government organizations, but big companies as well, are looking into having their own in-house LLM for this type of operation, and Crogl's more than capable of hooking up to different types of LLMs. Here in our demo environments, we're always using the big public frontier models, but even in our demo environments, we take advantage of this situation because sometimes Claude goes down. So then when Claude goes down, our demo is hooked up to Claude, Claude goes down, we switch over to OpenAI. Then we run our demos on OpenAI, and then OpenAI goes down for a while, then we switch back over to Claude. And we do that pretty seamlessly because of Crogl's capabilities. So you would have that same capability if you were running Crogl as well, but that's kind of one of our key features here. Another one we have here is continuous learning. So you can, as Crogl runs more and more threat hunts, as Crogl does more investigations, That information can be stored and updated in what we call skills. You can constantly be updating the skills and publishing them out to all your different team members that use Crogl so that you can be continuously learning as well. And then, like I said, 100% private. Your data never has to leave any of your systems. Crogl is software that you install in your system. If you've got Splunk Cloud and you want to use Claude out in the cloud, Crogl's more than happy to work with those. But if you have everything in-house, everything on-prem, Crogl is just as happy in that situation as well. All right, so this is kind of where Crogl sits within your SOC workspace here. So you've got Crogl, you've got all of your tools and lakes, your Splunks, your Cribbles, your Databricks, your Palo Altos, all the different log management and security tools that you might have out there. And then all of the various LLM services, and then also all of your ticketing systems, your ServiceNows, those sort of things. And then within Crogl, we have these three key features. And this one on the top here, the knowledge graph, I want to spend a little bit of time unpacking that one because that is one of the key features. I like to call it the secret sauce of Crogl. It's what makes Crogl so very powerful. I keep saying this, but it's one of the reasons I joined the company because this is such an integral and an intelligent part of Crogl, and it really does make a huge difference. So the knowledge graph is something that Crogl stores within itself. So when you hook Splunk up to Crogl, when you hook Databricks up to Crogl, when you hook Jira up to Crogl, Crogl is going to go out and query those systems schemas. And so in Splunk, it might be called source IP, SRC underscore IP. And in Jira, it might just be called IP. And then in Databricks, it might be called host IP. All three of those refer to the same thing. They refer to the IP address of a particular desktop server, what have you. But they're referred to in slightly different ways across those three systems. And the knowledge graph is going to go out there and it's going to pull those schemas from those three systems, make the comparisons, and then map those comparisons so that when Crogl is doing an investigation and it finds something in Splunk, it then takes that source IP field and then does the same search in Databricks, but it's using the host IP field. It's pivoting to the other system, but it's using the right field name to be able to do that search. And that information lives within Crogl. That is something that Crogl builds itself and keeps within itself. It queries your schemas on a very regular basis to keep that up to date. So if your schema changes, the knowledge graph is going to change and keep that up to date as well. And that is how we're able to swap out LLMs. That is how we're able to work with almost any security tool because we don't need to normalize the data. You don't have to pull it in. You can leave your data where it's supposed to be. You don't have to make a redundant copy of it. This knowledge graph is the very powerful core of that flexibility of Crogl. So I like to say Crogl does the dirty work of the SOC and then gives you, the SOC practitioner, all that information. And then you can then turn around and make your own decision based on what Crogl has done for you. So Crogl is not necessarily going to be taking actions. It's going to be making recommendations. Our goal is to always keep the practitioner in the loop and let them make the final decision. Like, okay, Crogl says this is, X, but I think it might be Y. I want to do some more investigations. You always have that human to finally come and react to the findings of Crogl. So Crogl does investigate. It investigates threats. So you can just upload a PDF of a new CISA threat, and Crogl will go in and scan your systems for that. You can also configure Crogl to react to an alert. So an alert comes into Jira, a critical security ticket gets filed to Jira. Crogl can then pick that ticket up, run the investigation, and then present its findings, saving the practitioner an hour, 2 hours, maybe all day of searching across a bunch of different systems. And at the end of the day, it does, like I said, it does the dirty work. It goes and runs all the queries, gathers all the information up, and presents it to the practitioner to be able to react. So we're seeing in our customers, we're seeing these kind of metrics: 10 times faster investigations, maximize the number of threat hunts per day, And then the investigation depth. So Crogl is going to go and follow down every lead. It's not going to have to be pulled away into another search. It's not going to be pulled away by something else. It's going to follow every lead as long as it can. It's also going to show you the places where it couldn't find data. So it's like, oh, I really would have liked to have had this data feed or that data feed to really truly investigate this threat. It's going to point out those holes in its own connected data as well, instead of just making up things like an LLM might be prone to do. So that is the end of my brief introduction to Crogl. Not brief. It's you're like, that wasn't brief. But before I go, I really want to pitch this. We offer Crogl as a free download. We are so confident that you're going to love our product. You can download it for free, run it in your own lab, maybe your home lab, maybe your test lab at work. You can absolutely run it there. It is fully functional download. After 30 days, it loses some of its enterprise features like, single sign-on, that sort of thing. But it is still fully functional as a personal version of Crogl indefinitely after those 30 days. The other thing I need to pitch, since I am the community manager, is the Crogl community. You are welcome to come and join us on our community Slack. We're trying to build a genuine security practitioner community over there. So you're more than welcome to join us. Please go to either Crogl.com download or Crogl.com community, or why not both?